Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today has to be quite a brief video because I've got a friend picking me up shortly who's taking me out for lunch for my birthday, which was yesterday. I've had the most incredible week. I've had a week of non-scale victories. I've had a week of good food, good company, good friendships, and yeah, I feel really privileged. A couple of things I want to do with Joe in a second, but first of all, can I just say thank you to everybody who sent me birthday cards and birthday gifts. I was blown away, absolutely blown away. And a massive, massive thank you to Dawn Evans and her husband Phil, who came over to Nottingham yesterday and we spent the day together. Dawn and I made friends via my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, slowly got to know each other, text nearly every day now. She's one of my besties, and I met her and Phil for the first time yesterday, and it was like meeting an old school friend. I felt like I'd known her all my life. And that's the beauty of getting to know people. You kind of click with people you've got something in common with, and I know we've all got Slimming World in common, and it's a fantastic place to start. But then you learn more and more about each other and what else you've got in common, and you can make some fabulous friendships via YouTube. This is our second recording of this video because we just ran out of memory on the camera, so I'm having to start again and I'm having to speed it all up because, as I said, I'm being picked up to go out for lunch. Had a perfect day on plan on my birthday. That was a non-scale victory and an absolute first. I've never done that before. As I think I just said, standing here in my size 8 jumper, that's a first. Size 28 to a size 8. Incredible, even though I do say so myself. Went to group this morning and the funniest thing happened. Joe, can you show my certificate in front of the camera? I got Joint Slimmer of the Week. I don't think that's bad on the week that includes your birthday when you've been doing this for nearly 3.5 years. Now, I don't think, does it say on there, Joe? I lost £0.5 pound. £0.5 pound. I am never going to say again, I only lost, or I just lost £0.5 pound. Because there are occasions when you can lose £0.5 pound and get Slimmer of the Week. That was such a bonus this morning, because when Sasha, our standing consultant, said, we have Joint Slimmer of the Week, you know, you don't even listen, focus. If you lost £0.5 pound, you're 2 3/4 years at Target, you don't even bother to focus and listen. And when she said Jane, I thought, she must mean me, because I'm the only Jane in the group. So, yeah, that was a bonus, an absolute bonus. The first thing I want to do very quickly is load up last week's video, Joe.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
You've done that? Now, I'm 2 3/4 years this week at Target. That's 33 months. That's 33 months more than I imagined I'd ever have at Target. Every quarter, I like to share my gratitude by giving away a £25 Amazon voucher. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, we're going to use last week's comments. It wasn't announced in advance, so it's a random raffle. I wish I could give everybody who commented a £25 Amazon voucher, because you'll never understand what an encouragement you are to people like me who vlog on here. To have that feedback, you realise you're not just talking to a dead camera, you're not talking to an empty space, you're talking to real people who understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, and possibly want to be doing it too, or have done it too. So if Joe's loaded that up, let's spin the random selector and give away a £25 Amazon voucher. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody.
The winner is Tara.
Tara.
Yeah, she says, happy birthday for Friday, we share the same day.
Fabulous, there you go,
Oh,
Tara.
yeah.
Happy birthday to you. You've got yourself a £25 Amazon voucher, belated birthday present. If you drop me an email, and my email address is on the About Me section of my channel, we will send you by email and by return a £25 Amazon voucher, and you can treat yourself to something special for your birthday. That's so lovely. Yeah, really nice. In group this morning, there's a lovely chap called Tony, and Tony's a Target member and has lost about 7 stone. And he said something which really, to me, spoke volumes, even though it's a very small thing. Now, at the time, I'd just heard from Joe, and Joe was stuck in traffic. Well, at the front, he was in pole position at the traffic lights, and he was stuck there because the Tour de Britain was going through our town. So you got bird's eye view, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah, I was the first one to be stopped. I was
Yeah,
right at
first
the
one to
front.
right at the front, so all the bikes go through, so about like 50 cyclists, followed by about 150 police outriders, and all the different vehicles, you know, the backup vehicles. And then, bless him, he went about, what, half a mile up the road or less.
Yeah, about 20 feet.
Well, not far, was it?
The next junction.
The next junction, he got stopped again because they'd all turned around and they were coming back down the same road on the wrong side. So Joe got good view again, didn't you? But it took him about
an hour
to do a 10-minute journey to get home from. He'd been to Costa while I was at Group, and he was on his way home. But yeah, bird's eye view and a good opportunity to see people spinning their legs. All those men in shorts, ladies. Right, so the thing that Tony said in Group, which spoke about this race, was the fact that some time ago, I think the Sky team weren't doing so well, and their coach had said to them, what we're looking for continually is a 1% improvement, just a 1% improvement. Now, it put me in mind of coming to Slimming World, and initially we're given this book, aren't we, and it's a life changer because we've been eating badly and we've got ourselves into whatever shape we are, whether we're 11 stone, 18 stone, or in my case 22 stone. We've eaten ourselves up to that place. So you may have a stone to lose, you may have 10 stone to lose, you may, like me, have 13 stone to lose, but we've eaten ourselves up to that place. So we arrive at Slimming World, we're given this book. Now, for I would say 99.9% of us to change overnight from doing what we've been doing, which is probably like me, eating a lot of crap, to doing what it says in that book, you can't fail but lose weight. You can't fail. Especially if you've just come back off a big holiday or a celebration or something like that, and you've maybe just had a quick gain, you're going to lose the weight. You initially will all lose water weight, then you start getting into the serious stuff. But the point Tony was making, I think, was more relevant to people who've been around a while, maybe are a bit bored or a bit tired. And we've done that, we've had that big change. But we want to kind of keep it rolling, keep it going, keep the weight coming off. Start making 1% changes. Start looking at what you can change in your life, like, can I drop the sugar from my coffee? Can I change it to sweetener? Can I come off sugar altogether and do what I did, which is like start drinking the coffee without sugar and actually tasting it. Make 1% changes. Do I still put butter or margarine on my bread, even though I'm having a sandwich that's got lots of moist salad in it and probably some mayo light? Do I really need to waste 2 sins on putting a bit of low-fat spread under that? Am I even going to taste it? Try it without. Do I really need to be putting 3 tablespoons of light dressing on something? Could I do a Debbie and buy a bottle of balsamic vinegar? Debbie got me seriously into balsamic vinegars because they taste so good, and they don't all taste the same. You can get different ones. Can you make your own dressings? I've actually got to a place now where I don't like dressing on my salad. I prefer it without. Never thought that would happen. I was a half bottle of salad cream girl. I used to just squirt it all over. And then when I'd finished my salad, there'd still be a load of salad cream left over on the plate. I'd mop that up with some bread and butter. But you can change all that, and if you change it 1% at a time, before you know it, in a matter of weeks or months, you've made massive changes. And looking at the way I eat today compared to the way I used to eat, I realise, you know, all those little changes have added up to a massive percentage, which has made me a different person. I eat in a different way, I approach food in a different way, I enjoy food in a different way. And I don't panic, I'm not frightened of being hungry, I'm not continually thinking, I've got to snack, I might be hungry. My whole approach and my whole relationship to food has changed so much.
Sorry to interrupt, but in a way, it's kind of like Slimming World's a skill. Like, you don't go from an apprentice to a master at something overnight. You've got to kind of...
That's a really good point. It is a skill. It's a learned skill. Say what you said in the car to me about, was it bench pressing?
Yeah, or just lifting weights in general. Like, you go to the gym, but you don't instantly... Say you start off with the bar,
which is
just
what,
20 kilos. Yeah. The next week, you don't go in and lift 100 kilos. The next week you go in and maybe do 22.5 kilos.
And you build up.
And week on week on week on week, you'll eventually get to 100 kilos, but you've just got to keep it up.
But because you do it so gradually like that,
yeah, it
with your weightlifting compared to my weight loss, because you do it so gradually, that slight increase of 2.5 kilos or 5 kilos each week.
Well,
it strengthens you, it builds your muscle, but it doesn't frighten you, does it? It's not like somebody saying, "Here you are, Joe, you're doing this with a 20 kilo bar and then sticking another 40 kilos on," because it's so gradual.
Yeah, you barely notice it. Yeah, you hardly notice it. Yeah,
so that's the thing with Slimming World, because the changes are so gradual, you barely notice them. And I think what Tony said this morning in group was just like, "You're right, Tony, mate," and you're not just talking the talk. You've done it, you're walking the walk, and they're the people I want to listen to. The people who can share real experiences because they've done it. I don't want to sit in group and listen to this imaginary Jane who used to be there, me, the gobby one, who knew everything, did none of it. Because I was, excuse my language, but I was bloody brilliant at that. I've sat in so many slimming groups over the years, and I'm very good. I'll study something and I'll learn it. I could go on Mastermind and answer questions on Slimming World. I know it that well. I'd fall down on general knowledge, I'd never get through that section. But on Slimming World, I want to know it because it's my life, and I actually enjoy it. I'm really enthusiastic and passionate about it.
It's really quite
but
funny.
But it's no good when I did
relatable World, they are.
Yeah, but when I did Slimming World before, in my 30s and 40s and that, I knew it just as well then. The only trouble was I never did it. I knew it. I knew how to tell you how to do it. I were marvellous at that. I helped so many people to lose weight over the years. I mean, serious weight. I had a friend at work who was getting married. I helped her to lose about 6.5 stone in about 9 months. But I was just as fat at the end of it because I could tell her how to do it. I even used to make her pack lunches and take them into work for her, but I couldn't do it. But I know now that being able to talk about it and tell other people how to do it is fine if that's your business, if that's how you make your living. I remember when I was really, really big, my husband took me to the doctors because I just kept saying, "I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight." The doctor said, "You just need to cut down." I can't cut down. I was too obsessive. I was a food addict. I was in a mess. My husband took me to see a dietitian at the big teaching hospital in Nottingham. I had sight then, so this lady walked into the room, and where I was like that wide, she was that wide. And I'm not being unkind because I've been that wide. I know it. She was a big girl, the way I finally ended up being. And she sat behind that desk in front, and she told me what I should be doing, and she told me like that, you know, like in your face. And by the end of it, I thought, "I'm not taking this anymore, nobody." And I told her back, "Don't you dare tell me what to do when you don't do it yourself," I said. My husband nearly died of shock. And do you know what she said? "I can tell you what to do because I'm paid to tell you what to do." And I walked out that room and I ate and I ate and I ate. She didn't give me any help at all. But I walked into Slimming World, met this fabulous woman called Naomi who'd done it and still did it, thought, "I want what you've got. She loves what she does, I want what you've got." And because she walks the walk and doesn't just talk the talk, okay, she's making a sort of living from it, she has a proper job as well. She does make a living from it, but that's not her primary thing. Her primary thing is to help people, which is why we've got 30 plus target members. You know, I've never come across that. You might have that in your group, and it's marvellous if you have. I think we should have more groups like this. But in group this morning we had a standing consultant, again, a lovely, lovely woman. But her approach to Slimming World is nothing like Naomi's. We spent a lot of the meeting talking about skinny syrups, and I was a bit like, right, move on. I'm in a hurry, move on. I think there's a time in everybody's life for certain things, but this young lady was saying she has a really bad sweet tooth and she needs skinny syrups. I would say if you've got a bad sweet tooth, which is what I had in the early days, the last thing you need is skinny syrups. You're weaning yourself into having a sweet tooth forever. And you know, one of the best non-scale victories for me this week is that I don't have that sweet tooth anymore. I can take it or leave it. And if you gave me a choice between a slice of cake and a cheese sandwich, I'd choose the cheese sandwich today. Truthfully, I'd choose the savoury thing today. And Joe's actually trained me out of getting up and starting my day with sweet things because it makes me hungry. You learn things like that about yourself, and the things we all learn will be different because we're all very different people. You may need skinny syrup, but I would just say take 2 minutes to sit down and consider, is it helping you move away from sweet things? Or sticking skinny syrup on everything and putting it in your coffee and in your yoghurt and everything, does that just make you want to spend your sins on other sweet things?
It's a difference between using it as a crutch and using it as a tool, isn't it?
I think so. And I think what the lady in group was describing this morning was very much using it as a crutch. She has got a weight loss and she's on a journey and she's doing really well. But to my mind, when I used to do things like that, it slowed me down, it held me back. Because it was a crutch, not a tool. So it was an interesting group. It's very different when you don't have your own consultant, and we all experience this from time to time, and really do appreciate the fact that other people will come and stand in. And it's good to see that it's done differently in other groups. But to focus on skinny syrups is something we've never done in our group. We don't talk about things like that. And it quite shocked this young lady to think, I think 95% of my group, and we're a big group, had never even heard of skinny syrups. There was only 3 people today who actually said they'd used them. So, yeah, do we need them? Do I need them? No. Do you need them? Maybe you do. Maybe you really enjoy them. But something that struck me about them this morning when the young lady was reading, she had several and she had foamy ones as well. They were raffle prizes for today. But when she was reading out the labels, and I can't remember at all, but it was like, no calories, no carbs, no gluten, no this, no this, no this. And I wanted to add no nutrition. Because there's nothing in there that is going to benefit my body today. I think I've put enough junk into my body over the years, chemicals and different things, and I've paid the price. You know, I had to have my gallbladder removed, I've had different illnesses and different deficiencies over the years, and I think a lot of that was self-inflicted. I did the best I could at the time, but it was never good enough. A lot of that is self-inflicted, and so today I'll choose not to put something in my body that I don't know what's in that. If it's got no carbs and it's got no fat and it's got no calories and it's got no gluten, what the hell has it got in it? Does anybody ever read the label? Because nobody picks it up and goes, this bottle of salted caramel, foaming, whatever it is, contains, and tells you what it actually does contain. I'm not sure that I need that in my body today. I'm 62, I'm fighting against old age. I want to be as healthy as I can be. I don't put spoons of sugar in my body today. I don't want to put spoons full of that. And one lady I was talking to in the meeting was saying, I have to be careful to stay away from that. She said, because I started off where I could put a teaspoon in something. Now I'm putting 2 tablespoons in. And I thought that's a bit of a shocker. But as Joe was saying, you build up a tolerance to it. So what tastes sweet at first, after a while doesn't, you need more. I think it was Patrick, would it have been Patrick I was watching this week? And he was saying, he's just started with it. This stuff is amazingly sweet. And I think he said you needed half a teaspoon. I think I see people use a lot more than half a teaspoon.
If you are using it, maybe it's one of those things that you could apply the 1% rule to.
And keep cutting it down gradually?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's like, what are you using it? Are you adding caramel, salted caramel flavour to something that needs salted caramel flavour adding to it? Or are you just squeezing it all over gorgeous fresh fruit and making it all taste like salted caramel? Because I like raspberries and cotton candy grapes and cherries and fig, fresh fig. I'm loving that at the moment. I like all of those things to taste like what they are, but then I haven't got the sweet tooth I used to, so I don't need to sweeten fruit anymore. We're all different, aren't we? But it's just food for thought, just something to think about. Can anybody comment below for next week and say, what 1% change do you think you could face making? And I'll actually think about it. What 1% change could I think of making? Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. If anything, I think the only thing I really could do with changing is maybe to drink a bit more. Because you can make a 1% change that doesn't have to be a reduction. It could be a healthy increase. And I think some days I don't drink enough. And not because I think I'm dehydrated or my skin's bad or anything like that. I just think that I'm never thirsty. And sometimes I can go 2, 3, 4 hours and not even think about having a drink. So maybe what I should promise myself to do is drinking between meals. Because I don't drink with my meals. I never have done. It's not something we did as a family. You know, like a lot of people had a glass of water or something, or a cup of tea with their dinner. We've never done that. But I think this week a change I could make would be maybe to have a drink, a positive experience of having a drink between my meals.
I'm sorry for piping in so many times, but this is kind of what I was saying when I said how funny it is with why weightlifting and like Slimming World are so relatable. Because if you've got really bad food habits and you instantly say, well, I'm going to go back to Slimming World, I'm going to do it 100%, but I'm going to do SP. That's like walking into the gym and trying to lift that 100 kilos when you're not ready for it. So you just get injured if you were lifting weights. But in Slimming World, you just quickly crash and revert back to your old habits because it's too much of a shock. It's too much of a drastic change and you're not ready for it yet.
So when you're coming back to Slimming World after you've had a holiday or a break or a period off plan,
you better really not trying to lose weight for maybe 4 months. It's just like getting your food habits back in check.
So try to eat as if you were planning to maintain.
Yeah, try to maintain. Yeah, because then you don't feel deprived. Try to eat on-plan Slimming World food without restricting yourself so much, because then it's easier it's a smoother like transition back into Slimming World rather than saying I'm going to hit it so hard I'm going to do SP, I'm going to have
2 sins a day or something.
2 sins a day SP, straight from having like pizza and chocolate and stuff like that. It's just too much of a change.
That's good, thanks Joe. Healthy Extra C's is working for us, and do you know what, now I call them a C choice, a Healthy Extra C choice, I'm actually thinking more about what I'm spending them on, because the word healthy makes me think, that actually does feel quite good. I'm not saying you have to spend everything on savvy sins. It doesn't have to be nuts and oils and avocados, but it makes me think differently about it. Now we're only talking about me here, so it does make me think differently about it. And it's been a good week that wise. I've gone to, I think my average this week has been like 14 and a half sins a day. And as I say, £0.5 pound weight loss. No walking this week. We haven't had the count because you've been at work a lot, haven't you?
Yeah.
So no walking this week. I'm not claiming it's down to exercise, but I never do. Just living this plan and accepting, Somebody in group said this morning, I only lost £0.5 pound. And Sasha said, don't ever say only, And that's when Tony came in with his 1% thing, because drip, drip, drip. Those £0.5 pound drips will fill a bucket. Sasha was very honest and said something like, there's a lady in her group, they came back, restarted their journeys at the start of this year. The lady in her group has been consistent, £0.5 pound, a pound, £0.5 pound, a pound. Sasha's very much, she can lose big, she can gain big. She said, I can have a £7.5 pound loss in a week, I can have an even bigger gain in a week. And she's lovely and honest. That's one of the things I really appreciate about her. And she said, looking at our results, we're now into September, the kids have gone back to school. She's just about £0.5 pound from her 3.5 stone award. I've lost 1 stone 5. So it's consistency, drip, 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 £0.5 pound, a pound.
Yeah, you aim for those big losses, you're going to get injured.
Well, yeah, because like you say, bringing it back to the weightlifting, if I suddenly wanted to deadlift, I couldn't deadlift a carrot, but if I suddenly wanted to go and start deadlifting and I said, right, somebody put me a 150 kilogram bar together, I'd damage my back and my ego and my confidence.
Yeah, who's going to be, you do it in like 2.5 pound, 2.5 kilogram increments, not in 20 kilo increments. Yeah.
So if we're planning to go on this food plan and we're wanting to lose £3, £4, £5, £6 a week, I can tell you, it don't work in the long term, because I watch it every week at group. I've been to group every week for nearly 3.5 years. I haven't missed a meeting. I'll see that happen regularly. Aim to lose £0.5 a week. Anything over that is a bonus. But if you can lose £0.5 a week by the end of the year, you know, that's a good amount of weight.
And you've really honed your craft.
Well, by the end of the year,
and you've learnt a new skill.
It's 1 stone 12 pounds. Who wouldn't like to be 1 stone 12 pounds lighter by this time next year? I mean, I don't need to be, thank God. But, you know, only because I'm consistent. Watch Debbie. Look where she's got to. Look where she's still going. Incredible young woman. Consistency has paid massive dividends. I am sorry that I'm not going to SlimCon this year for one reason. I didn't intend to go. But I'm sorry I'm not going for one reason, because I would like to give that young lady a round of applause and an Yvette style pat on the back.
Oh,
because she's friends are right. She's an incredible.
Oh, and we're on red. Quick.
Gotta go. She's incredible.